It took about 100 years for the first third of the old-growth forests of Vancouver Island to be cut, and in the next, I think, roughly 30 years, the second third was cut, and the remaining, the little bit left, was obviously threatened. They were going to preserve all the old-growth forest above timberline, which meant none of it. And so there would be no large unlogged old-growth forests on Vancouver Island. So there began to be a number of protests about one protest against that. People were blocking the road. Right.
And then one of our students planned on going. Planned on going to one of the protests, and she asked us if we could go along, if we would go along.
And we weren't planning on getting arrested, although I did mention to the president of my college before I left that I was planning on going, and he was from California, and they're all a little flaky down there anyway, and he said, well, you know, I said I might possibly get arrested, and he said, well, do what you feel like you need to do. The nature of the protest was that logging trucks were going in on a road.
Early in the morning.
Very early in the morning, and the protesters would block the road, just with their bodies. So we all assembled and drove several miles to the bonfire along the road where people were serving a bit of breakfast, as I recall. And most of the people there had already gotten arrested at least once. Had been released, hadn't had a sentence yet. So we had decided the night before roughly who would be arrested, and we all massed in the road, and the police came, and they said they read a court order from McMillan Bodell saying you are blocking access, and if you don't move, you'll get arrested. We were arrested, taken on a bus to the Ucluelet jail, and were arraigned, spent an hour or two in jail, and then released, and told that our trial would be sometime in the future. The trial was many months in the future. By that time, over 800 people had gotten arrested. It was kind of an embarrassment to the government in a way. And the trial, they had to go through with it, and we were guilty. We had a chance to explain why we did it.
And there was a lawyer who defended us, and he was connected with the Sierra Club, and he was really, really wonderful and very, very supportive.
So we feel pretty good about the whole thing. And I sympathize with logging. What the situation here was, this was logging in one of the last undisturbed watersheds, and it was clear-cut logging, and that's not a very wise way of logging. The question is, what kind of logging, and do it in a way that takes the health of the land, of the whole ecosystem, seriously.